It's intriguing to see how just a couple months ago, the hype train was riding on full steam for the RTX 40 series, but now it seems like things have settled down. Could this mean that the cards are indeed being delayed, and those current gen GPU sales are going to be running dry, as people don't seem to be buying graphics cards anymore? Let's discuss that in this video. Hey, if you enjoy content like this, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss another video. Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you've all been doing well. I've finally gotten the time to sit down and talk about some GPUs, leaks, and rumors, but you know what? I've noticed that there really hasn't been much going on in terms of GPU leaks. Of course, we're still getting tidbits of information from known hardware leakers on Twitter regarding specifications, architectural improvements, and even some benchmark results. But apart from that, it's been fairly quiet. This is quite a stark difference from what was going on just a couple months ago, as people had been talking about Nvidia possibly releasing Ada Lovelace sometime in July. Where are we now? We're in late August, and I see no RTX 4090 on shelves, so obviously that didn't happen. A few months ago, I talked about and discussed some rumors surrounding the RTX 40 series, suggesting that Nvidia was going to follow a similar release window as to what they did with the RTX 30 series and unveiled the GPUs sometime in September. However, now we're starting to hear that this might not be the case anymore, and we're perhaps looking at a late Q4 or early Q1 2023 launch for the RTX 40 series. There's been numerous tech outlets reporting on this topic, one of them being Bits and Chips on Twitter, and these guys have stated that according to some industry insiders, the RTX 40 series has been delayed to Q1 2023. However, as a follow-up to that tweet, someone asked if all the GPUs were delayed, to which they replied it was all the GPUs from the RTX 4080 and below. This would make sense because if you remember when folks were talking about the July release, it was speculated that Nvidia would launch an RTX 4090 or 4090 Ti first, with the rest of the lineup gradually coming out the following months. There was another site that I saw was reporting on the similar rumors stating that the 40 series had been delayed. If you think about it, if the GPUs were going to be coming out sometime in September or even in October, then we would have definitely seen something by now. Back when the RTX 30 series was close to release, we had leaked images of Nvidia's reference coolers from the factory, and this was way back in June of 2020. The cards didn't come out until 3 months later in September. In July 2020, ASUS then had their Strix GPU cards leak as well. So if the GPUs were really coming out in a couple months, then don't you think we should have seen something by now? Well, one could argue that Nvidia is going to be keeping really tight-lipped about everything this time around, and has also addressed their partners to do the same. But hey, we live in a very interconnected world, leaks will happen one way or another. This delay could be due to a whole bunch of reasons. One reason could be that Nvidia still isn't done finalizing the specs for some of these GPUs. Just recently, Kopite Simon Kimi, who's a really well-known hardware leaker at this point, stated that Nvidia has changed memory specs for the RTX 4080. Specification changes aren't going to happen a couple months before launch. This stuff is finalized many months in advance before things go into mass production. Speaking of mass production, if Nvidia had decided to release the 40 series in the next month, we'd probably be looking at a paper launch. Perhaps they wanted to avoid such a situation and release GPUs when they would attain good volume, to avoid the problems we had with this current generation of GPUs. Although the RTX 30 series and 6000 series was an anomaly due to everything that happened, worldwide health crisis, chip shortages, and a crypto mining boom. 2 years later, and a lot of those problems aren't as detrimental anymore as they were back then. Moving away from that topic, I wanted to talk about what's going on currently in the GPU market. GPU availability has been the best it's ever been, and also GPU prices have been the lowest they've ever been for this generation. Two factors that people were just begging for a year ago. However, now people aren't actually buying GPUs anymore. Before it was because prices were too high or there weren't enough GPUs to go around. But if you want a RTX 3060 Ti, you can go to your local hardware store, find it readily available on shelves, and find it for probably less than MSRP. So why aren't people buying these GPUs? Well, the general consensus seems to be that this late in the GPU cycle, we're talking about 2 years now, you're better off waiting for next-gen parts, or the current-gen GPUs need to go on some really steep discounts. Buying GPUs at MSRP or getting $50 or $100 discounts at this point isn't going to cut it. I was looking at comments at a Reddit thread, I think this was from RPC Gaming, if I recall correctly, and you can see the types of comments people are leaving. They're saying stuff like, unless the 3080 Ti or the 3090 go on sale for like $500 or $600, they're not worth buying. I know this is just one Reddit thread, but I've seen these comments everywhere from various forums, sites, even my own YouTube videos. People I know that work in the industry. Either the GPUs go on sale for 50% plus clearance prices, or people just aren't going to buy them. It's as simple as that, and I totally agree with that. So it seems like we're still in a standstill at this point, where people aren't going to be buying current gen GPUs unless they're dirt cheap, and manufacturers, partners, along with retailers don't want to or can't drop that low. I feel like the latter is going to give at some point, and hey, hats off to all you consumers who are holding strong. For these last 2 years, consumers were being gouged like crazy, so it's time that the roles were reversed. Nvidia right now is sitting on a lot of unused inventory, and they're not happy about it. Earlier this month, if you had tuned into Nvidia's financial quarterly call, they missed their target for the fiscal second quarter revenue by about $1.4 billion. What's funny about this is that Nvidia's gaming revenue includes GPUs sold, but it doesn't separate the revenue that they earn from crypto consumers, which is where the vast majority of their income was probably coming from. With the crypto mining crash and crypto in the red in general, obviously miners aren't going to be buying those cards anymore, and PC gamers were done buying GPUs a while ago. So hey Nvidia, you want to start moving GPUs again, then you better cut your losses and be prepared to give some steep discount. We are gradually starting to see this though. I mean, a while ago there was so much buzz around EVGA listing their RTX 3090 Ti's for around $1,100. This GPU, which came out earlier this year in March for a whopping $2,000 USD, which was quite bizarre and a bit out of touch if you ask me. But hey, we're talking about nearly 50% off and people still don't want it. Just goes to show you how much margin they have on these Halo products. The 3090 was already an overpriced, expensive 3090 to begin with, and the 3090 was already an overpriced 3080 to begin with just more VRAM. I had already been saying this for a while now, that hey, if you can wait, then you're better off waiting. Even if you don't want to get a next-gen GPU, you'll probably find a really good deal for current-gen GPUs. But hey, we've got guys like Jace 2 Cents over there making videos about telling people to go out and buy GPUs right away, otherwise you'll regret it. Well, for anyone who took his advice, I bet you're finding yourself in a world full of remorse since prices have dropped quite drastically since he made that video, and that video wasn't even posted that long ago. I think it was on July 12th, so a little over a month ago. You can notice that the trend that we're dealing with right now, next month we might even see more steeper discounts. But anyways, the point is, GPUs are sitting on shelves right now collecting dust because the demand and pricing tolerance has just taken a nosedive. Circling back to the RTX 40 series, could this be another reason for the delay? Do you guys think that partners are telling Nvidia, hey, don't release new GPUs right now, we've still got a whole bunch of inventory sitting here and we need to get rid of it somehow? You releasing a new series isn't going to help that at all. I'm not really sure, this is just speculation, but it could very well be a possibility. Along with that, when you've got the usual Twitter leakers talking about 8104, which is what the RTX 4070 is going to be based on, mention that it will easily match an RTX 3090 Ti, obviously this is going to make people want to wait. Why would I want to pay $1,200 for a 3090 Ti when I could just wait a few months for next gen and attain that same performance for like half the price? These are all the reasons and things that are on the people's minds right now, and it's why demand among hardware enthusiasts and PC gamers has taken such a nosedive. With all that said, shifting our focus away from Nvidia, I wanted to briefly just talk about AMD and rdna 3. Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, has already confirmed that they will be launching high-end rdna 3 GPUs later this year. I don't think people realize how big of a deal this is, because for the first time in what's probably a decade, the Radeon Technologies Group is going to beat Nvidia to the punch by releasing GPUs first. This goes all the way back to the Kepler days from the GTX 700 series, where Nvidia was first to the market, then AMD launched the R9 200 series. Then Nvidia launched the GTX 900 series back in September 2014, and AMD launched a refresh of the 200 series along with the Fury cards in the summer of 2015, so there was quite a big gap. Nvidia had Pascal come out first in 2016, and while AMD did beat them to the mainstream with the 480, they didn't respond in the high-end until Vega came out in August of 2017, and it was quite a disappointment. It was just a whole year too late. This trend carried forward with the RTX 20 series. AMD was again missing in the high end as their 5700 XT was more or less trading blows with the 2070. Now the RX 6000 series did come out a bit later than the 30 series, but we're talking about a 2-month gap, so I'd say it definitely helped them a bit, and the cards were competing well when it came to raw rasterization performance. But if Nvidia doesn't release an RTX 4080 or 4070 until next year Q1, and AMD comes out with their family of RX 7000 series GPUs, I think being early to the market will be a huge benefit and advantage to them in increasing their market share. And from the rumors I've been hearing for rdna 3, it's going to be quite competitive with Nvidia and may even hold advantages such as performance per watt. Definitely a topic that deserves its own video, so I'm not going to get into that here. There's just a plethora of information there. I know a lot of people who have been saying that, hey, whoever's first to the market, I'm going to go with them. If AMD releases rdna 3 before Nvidia, the performance is good, it's got good improvements, the price is appealing, and he won't need a nuclear reactor to power them, then they've got a very good shot at taking this generation. So I'm really interested in seeing how this will play out in the next coming months. If I was Nvidia, I'd be really worried right now. If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then leave a like. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to check out the video description for cool links and ways to support the channel, such as using my Amazon affiliate link. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, then consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.